My husband was in the Coast Guard for 28 years as a bosun mate chief.
I've been deployed throughout my career about 30 to 40 times.
This deployment was different because I had a complete awareness of what was going on.
I was in a combat zone. I was working with the Army unit to train the Iraqi Coastal Border Guard.
As I was getting older, I was gaining a better understanding of what was going on in the world with my dad, his job, his mission.
My wife had let me know that Maggie struggled a little bit more with the deployment because she worried a lot more.
You're reassured all the time, Dad's safe, but at the same time, it's every single emotion becomes stressful for a different reason.
She, like any child, started to have some issues, anxiety, could see more heightened reactions to things. Her emotions were more extreme.
My anxiety was like pressure. It's kind of like when you're blowing up a balloon. You're blowing into it, everything's blowing up, it's getting bigger, it's expanding, but eventually there's just so much in it just pops, and you just kind of come to a breaking point.
She would cry a lot more, for reasons, but very quickly. Things that wouldn't make her cry before would just make her break down.
I think the biggest fear anybody has in a deployment is the person deployed not coming home.
It's a little heart-wrenching to know that your kids worry about you so much.
When Maggie's dad got home, I had hoped that that immediate reaction would be a quicker healing, that she would instantly have that complete stress and fear of him being gone, be taken away.
I definitely expected for the anxiety to alleviate when my dad came home.
My fear was this time that it may not be that case, that she, because of everything that was going on, that she may be a little bit more closed off to that.
You expect to fall into that same routine. Sometimes you find that the routine has changed just a little bit.
Everyone would be super excited, have stuff they want to tell and show Dad, but there's no way to really prepare to put somebody back into your life. When I first saw my dad, after he came back from deployment, you just get so overwhelmed with excitement and happiness.
When I first came home, it's so exciting to see your family again.
You just literally run to the point where you, instead of actually running and giving them a hug, you just kind of run into them and knock them over almost.
There's that euphoria for the first 24, 48 hours.
You get the butterflies in your stomach, and it's very emotionally overwhelming for you.
Reality was the anxiety didn't go away. Now I'm just frustrated differently.
Homecomings are work. Transitioning back into life is tough.
It was a little bit tough to readjust to coming home, just because they did have their own routine, and I wasn't part of it.
He wouldn't acknowledge some guilt over being gone.
I kind of felt bad that I had to leave. I had to go do my job. I had to make this deployment, and I'd even asked for this deployment.
She had a little bit of, if you'd been here, I wouldn't have been worried about it. So as we started to peel away those initial emotions, it got a lot better.
In order to heal from anything, it's understanding what you went through, understanding what you're going through, understanding the situation and circumstances. And so I think it allowed me to understand my feelings a little bit better.
What I've learned is it's an ongoing process. This has been going on for quite a while, and she still will have an episode or a day that she just is really affected.
There were really two things that helped me. One, keeping the communication line open with my dad, and the other thing was getting myself involved and helping others.
Once they were able to do that and look at each other for what needed to be done, they were able to start healing together. Maggie's senior project that she ended up doing was an awareness seminar for educators on vicarious post-traumatic stress disorder and the effects that it has on military children. The vicarious is the experience of someone that's living outside of that. Maybe a child who has a parent deployed and they just announced that there were several KIAs in an area. So they're not directly experiencing the trauma, but they are feeling the effects of it and it is impacting them.
My passion for this project was mostly helping others, and in doing that I was able to help myself, and I think the only way to really help others is to be okay with what I went through.
She helped open up the eyes to the people that teach her, so she actually did the teaching to the teacher. And I think she opened up the community's eyes to a bigger problem that they really didn't know about. This is something I think that the teachers, the principals, the school board, even the community can help a single child deal with it and cope with it.
A lot of times a teacher may not always realize that students' behavior and them acting out is a result of them coping with the deployment.
I think that Maggie's project helped her tremendously in a couple different ways. One of the things it's taken from us is control. And so while she couldn't fix that, this gave her some control to maybe make a difference for somebody else.
We had nominated Maggie for the Military Child of the Year, and then just before the announcement came, the official announcement came, my wife had gotten word that Maggie was the winner.
The award was just a tremendous honor. I was so excited to get it.
That was an extremely proud moment. Yeah.
My advice for children going through deployment is stay involved, find something to do. I found that helping other people helped me.
My advice to someone returning from a deployment is to not push the limits of what your family has done or changed over the course of your deployment, but just to jump in as you can, take it slow.
But continue to communicate on some level. And if you're not comfortable with that, make sure that your children have outside sources to be able to communicate with.